All
Well,
right.
welcome everybody. This is the November Energy Update with Master Tracker and Energy Healer Bonnie Serratore. My name's Caroline Ryan, and we're here to, yes, good evening, Marit. She's here. We're here to take questions, and Bonnie's going to describe what's going on with these mind-blowing energies in November. So, Bonnie, I'm going to hand it over to you because this is an intense time, if ever there was one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, clearly. And when I first look at November, there is, I just want to, let me back up. So in October, remember, it was like taking the lid off. All this stuff was flying. Okay. And that's also what we were seeing in, like with Israel and the Palestinians and, just all this upheaval. Okay. So November, the energy actually starts to go in a different color and different density, and it starts to go more into like a darker frequency. But that doesn't mean a bad thing. But it's almost like it's like a pulling in now, almost like winter. You know how winter was like, oh, winter. You start pulling in. So there's also something about this month that definitely is about pulling in, contracting, and like, for example, it's really cold out, so the body feels like some people, want to contract, that kind of stuff. But also on the energy level of November itself, this is also, it's almost like all these big things are happening, and now we're going to kind of pull in and recalibrate. And for some, it might even mean like licking your wounds, so to speak,
Okay.
So there's been so much happening in the last few months, but this month, even though there's still going to be intensity, okay, like there's still things happening in different parts of the world, that's still going to continue. And yet for humanity, it's the time to like really pull in, and it's almost like a recalibrating, because sometimes when we have intense things happening, it activates a lot of wounding. You know what I mean? Like even people that are not living in these places, there's a lot of people that have family in some of these places, and then other people just have, a sympathy for the suffering of these people. Okay, so and it might activate different things inside of them. But people, although no matter where you are, everyone is in some way, unless you're completely off grid and have no sense, but it's still an energy. And it is the time now to where we are, let's just pull in, come back in, let's recalibrate, restructure, because when things get activated, if people go through some of the intensities, there's a shift inside of them. And with that shift, it's like it's like coming into life in a different way, more, even more aware somehow, more heart open, more consciousness. So it's also the time where we're, as we pull in and just kind of letting the body recalibrate with all the intensities, all the traumas, give it some reprise, give it some time to just, all right, this is all happening. Where am I? What am I experiencing? And just don't make it good, bad, right, wrong, no judging, but just witnessing and being with the self, because it is a little bit of a reflective kind of time. Again, it's like that pulling in time. And I know we got holidays coming and people will be going out to families, things of that nature. And it's still the time where let's just recalibrate. Let's just kind of like pull in and see where we are now, and then also being aware of that inner structure, meaning anytime we release energy from, from getting activated and we release it, we are different inside, for real. Okay. And that difference is still needs to be recalibrated, meaning it's almost like you've got a shift in your energy field. Well, it takes a little time for all of the physical parts of you and the emotional parts to also recalibrate. So this is kind of like that time. And because there's still a lot of intensity for people, it's like with October, like blowing the lid off, it just feels like energetically and looks like energetically that like a bomb went off in October, and then all the fallout, and then now we're kind of cleaning up after all the fallout, so to speak. So it's an important time. It's a big time. And again, we are coming into the holiday season, and it's like it's just time to get. It's like a stabilizing too. I can see that. It's like in that recalibrating, there's a more stabilization that can start to happen for some people, for many people actually. If you've been doing your inner work, there's going to be a little bit of a restabilizing happening, so that you somehow feel, even though life is still doing whatever it's doing, you won't feel like you're being whipped around by external realities. It's also a time for stability. And like I was saying, I can actually see almost like when people stand on their own on 2 feet, you know what I mean, just slightly separated, there's a stability, right? Like rather than, you know, like 1 foot or just kind of like where your feet aren't stable. So there's a stability happening in this month in November. And it's a good thing because all the, even if you weren't doing your own emotional work, you know what I mean, like intentionally, just by going through some of the emotions, by feeling them, there is movement for people. Okay, there is shifting and changing. So the stabilizing, it just, and on an energy level too, Oceana, I actually literally see almost like steel, like posts, you know, like coming through the bot. Not that it's really steel, but that it's just showing me that to let me get a sense of and a feel for what that means. And it's just very strong. It's very stabilizing. So it's also a great time where we can get together with other people and still feel stable within our own selves, which is actually kind of cool, because this is the time of year where people, you know, going into the holiday season and around family and friends and issues and all that, people get to have a tendency to get unstable. But right now, it's almost like you're being stabilized. So everyone's affected by it. Like I said, even if you weren't intentionally doing your own inner work, just being alive during this period of time and having, you know, just having some emotions or having some, you know, moving through you, some energy frequencies moving through you, you're still going to have shifts. Okay, there's going to be movement. And then, but then the stabilizing, I think, is like really valuable, really important for people. And even just to know you got a stabilizing energy frequency helping and assisting all of us, you know, just to be more here, be able to stay here in the body, witnessing what's happening and not getting so whacked over it, you know. So you know how people, like, especially I actually have someone whose family is in Israel. He actually, the kibbutz he grew up in was destroyed. So he, you know, he was asking about, you know, that. And again, you know, it's like for me, yes, it's, we got what's happening is happening. And of course, we're going to have reactions. Of course, we're going to be fearful and afraid and feeling hurt and angry and all these big emotions. But yet on the bigger picture, which is where I like to live because it's more of the absolute, this is all part of the divine plan unfolding. This is all part of what needs to happen. And to truly know and understand, Oceana, and I know you know this and others know this, you know, we've done things in our past that we're going to know the other side of. We've also made agreements to participate at certain levels, to be a part of atrocities, to be a part of different things that we're experiencing. There is that agreement. So in my world, it's not really about a victim. It's more about knowing yourself in all ways, which is creation itself. And in doing that, you know, you're moving through these emotions and intensities, even death. I'm telling you, all of it is all part of the soul's evolution to know itself in all ways. So ultimately, in my knowing, there really are no victims, and there really is no good, bad, right, or wrong. It's a soul's journey. It's a soul evolving. And the only way we really know things is through direct experience. And I think we understand that. I think most people can understand it. It's that direct experience where we grow. Like if someone says, tells you something and warns you, don't do that, well, you're not going to know it. Okay, so we're all unique. We all need to learn on our own, and that's how we get it, is direct experience. So even though it's seemingly, yes, it's atrocity, yes, it's horrors, yes, 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 that's all true. And living in a higher vibrational frequency of consciousness allows us to understand things that you just can't understand when you're living in the mix of intensity and crisis. And then too, when we're in that, we're victims, and we see the victims, and even though that's, in a human experience, yeah, it is, but at a soul level, no, it isn't. At a soul level, it's just another experience of the soul evolving. So again, this is stabilizing time. Crisis time happened, blow up time happened. Now it's like stabilizing, getting solid, strong, shifted and changed with more awareness, more openness, more heart opening, more compassion for others as well. The crises that are happening is definitely opening people's hearts to the suffering of humanity on some level. It isn't just people in Israel or Palestine. It's global. They're suffering globally. And now it's like, okay, let's get stable. Let's not take it personal, and by being stable, there's also not that so much of a finding fault, making wrong, like pointing the finger, like you, they, them, that, all that out there. It's like that starts to soften and fade, because it's no longer, somehow it's just no longer about that. Somehow it's like, whoa, who am I? Who am I in all of this? And the stability that's actually coming because of that.
Okay. So, Bonnie, you see things maybe calming down from how intense October was, because I mean, that solar eclipse knocked me flat. I had an intense headache for a couple of days, and then we had a lunar eclipse a couple of weeks later, and the energies have been ratcheting up. They've been so high. And then all this horrible stuff going on in the Middle East, as well as, Ukraine and other places. And naturally, we're going to get triggered because, as you say, you've said many times, we all carry trauma from other lives. And with these intense energies, so much is coming up to be healed. So hopefully, maybe in November, we can just observe and we can allow that. Even starting right now, we can just allow, if the tears are going to come up with the anger, just let them.
Right. Yeah.
And, without punching a person, punch a pillow. But
yeah, that.
let them come up. Yeah. Don't be horrified. Oh, I'm not being spiritual enough. Because we can know intellectually what you're saying, that, all right, the soul has chosen this path. And I just channeled something about that yesterday, that, this is a special soul group that came in, these people who are suffering now. And they chose this, and please don't, feel like all is lost, because their souls are still powerful, and if their souls need healing, they'll get that. But I think we can see this in terms of, just as the seasons change, these energies are shifting, and if we can feel more stability this month, that is fantastic. After feeling shaken up, over the past month.
Yeah. And yes, when I first saw the energy, Oceana, I'm thinking, oh, darkness, what does this mean? You know what I mean? Like, oh no, here's more. But it's not that. Like I said, it's more of that. It's like the road. Oh, I get it. It's almost like this, like when the ocean wave comes in and crashes and it pulls back.
Yes. Okay.
It's that kind of thing. So we went crashing. Now it's that pulling back of the energy, and it's a stabilizing time. So, it's like, if people can understand that, it can make their journey or make their experiences a little bit more gentle. And sometimes when we understand things, it just shifts things within us when we really understand something. And I think it's important for people to understand we are souls living in a human body. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not, like the body is the soul. That's not what's up. Okay. This is the vehicle. We're going to drop this, but who we are is eternal. And we've done many things. We've experienced many things. This is not the first go around of horrors and atrocities happening that we've witnessed or been a part of. So,
Yes.
it's the soul waking up. It's like, all ugliness, darkness has to come. This is what it looks like. This is the exposure. New paradigm, bringing up all the darkness, greed, hatred, judgments, prejudice, everything is coming up.
Welcome him.
Welcome it. And if you've got it, face it, feel it, get through it, and be done with it, because it's not the absolute. It's not the truth of who we are. You know, everyone is a divine being. Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's
Just wearing
so
different, we're just wearing different cloaks, you know?
Yeah, costumes. Yeah, absolutely.
Costumes, yeah. Yeah, costumes.
So the idea is then not to try to cover up what's happening with us or the world, but can we, you use that white flame of the Holy Spirit, which I call the white flame the divine feminine, because to me, that's what people mean by the Holy Spirit without realizing it. Could we put any troubled region in our heart space? Could we put any troubled region in that flame?
Yes, yes, yes. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Anybody, okay? We all have the ability to do that type of thing. So what, for holding it with our own self is just, for me, it's really about people finding that light within and, dropping into your own light. And in that space of your own light, I promise you, there's no wounding, okay? There's no wounding in there. It's pure love and light. So when we take our awareness into that part of us, into the depths of who we are, and then we hold these places from here, free of judgment, free of making good, bad, right, wrong, okay? Free of pain and suffering, right there. We hold that, and then we can literally hold that whole energy and all of the peoples also in that love and light, okay? But I think what you said, Oceana, is really important for people to really understand. People did agree to come here to do this, to hold that frequency. And I know it just, at a human level, we can't comprehend things. We want to be blaming something or someone. We want to, well, why is God doing this? And you know what I mean? It's like, but that's not what's up. It has nothing to do with God or creation. This is all the soul's journey, soul's evolution. It's all about the soul. I remember, I just want to tell you really quickly, way back, Oceana, when I was just back in 1994, I was going back. I was with two other people. One of them was my business partner and another good friend. They're really highly conscious people, and we were laying next to each other, and we started doing breathing to go back, to take us out of our consciousness. And then we all went back, and then in that time, I was shown creation for real. I was shown how consciousness became aware in that moment. They might call that the Big Bang, but that moment of awareness, becoming aware of its own awareness, created an energy frequency, which began everything. And then I saw all the different things. But ultimately, what I wanted to share is our soul. Like I saw images of battles and riding on the back of a horse. I could see the soul right up here. It wasn't like fully in the body, but it didn't care if your arm got chopped off. It didn't care if you got beheaded. It had no attachment. Okay. And so we can agree to come in, and these human bodies have these experiences, but the soul has no, it's like not concerned. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, it's not having that experience. It's just witnessing and experiencing through the human form, different experiences. This is another reason why it's important to keep your soul in your body. When you're processing, going through stuff, make sure you're call yourself in, make sure you're here. So the soul is literally getting the lesson, so it doesn't have to keep doing it over and over, learn it. So yeah, but I'll never, I mean, that's still with me. I can see it so clearly. I was shown so many things. It was awesome.
Wonderful. That would be an astounding experience. Absolutely. I just want to remind people, if you've got a question about how you've been dealing with these energies or how they have affected people in general, please do write it into the chat. Anne is saying, Bonnie, your clearings have really helped me. How can we help people overcome their grievances with the world at large? Yeah.
Overcoming their grievances. Yes. Okay. So that's the reaction part. Okay. So when we're having a reaction, people, our reaction is our doorway into our own subconscious. Okay. Our reactions to what's happening in the world is going to be based on our misperceptions, our beliefs, our wounding, all of that. So I just want to say this for people like myself and like Oceana and many, many, many others. There, for me, it's not that I have total compassion and care and love, but I'm not being whipped around like I once was because I don't have that wounding anymore, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so now it's like,
Mhm.
I mean, there was a time when I couldn't even watch. My kids grew up with no TV because I couldn't handle the atrocities that were happening. Like I saw whales, something happening, that was it. Game over, TV out.
Yeah.
So my body couldn't handle it. So now that I've cleaned up all the emotional, like a lot of stuff, I don't have the same wounding. I'm not shattered and broken. I'm not like, severely hurt. I'm not living in, pain, anguish. So witnessing others, there's more of an awareness of what's really going on.
Mm.
There's a consciousness, but there's also a frequency of just unconditional love for all of them.
Mm.
And that's what will start to happen for all of us as we use our reactions. So people are, of course, you're going to have reactions to what's happening. You're going to have beliefs that you think is right and wrong, good or bad. You're going to be judging, fault finding, asking why. You want to blame somebody. But all of this keeps you spinning in your belief systems. It doesn't change anything. People, the most important thing that we can possibly do is wake up. Wake
Mm.
up,
Yeah.
end our suffering. Okay. So
And
this is another opportunity for all of humanity that are witnessing these things to use this experience to find what are you still holding in your subconscious that's causing you to feel that there's something good or bad or right or wrong, or that there's something, like you want to hate somebody or kill somebody or judge somebody or punish somebody or make somebody do something or whatever. Okay, so it's all about you. Your reactions are all about you. So rather than keep spinning in that dance that's been going on for all of, hundreds and hundreds, thousands of lifetimes, now's the time to come out of that spin and start looking at, oh, okay, I'm going to use this experience. Okay, so when I see this, what's the first feeling I have? Maybe I have anger. Well, then have anger. Okay. And maybe start to feel like such sadness, feeling sorry that people are suffering. No, 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 no. All you can feel is your own suffering. You're not feeling their suffering. Okay. So own it. Feel your own suffering because that's what's up. Okay. Your own suffering is getting activated. Face it, feel it, dive into it, experience it, move it, release it, and keep on going because there's lots and lots of emotions. And as that happens, you're no longer a tube of a well of grief, so to speak, a well of traumas. You're lightening up what's within. And when you do that, your whole experience of the external world changes. Not that anything has changed, it's just your reaction to it.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
It's kind of miraculous. It's kind of miraculous the way that will happen. Like, oh, suddenly that situation doesn't make me angry anymore. That doesn't make me want to cry anymore about all those poor victims. And
Yes,
um,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
you get cleared and you just breathe.
yes, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. It's a
yeah,
kind of a surrender, kind of an acceptance. It's also allowing energy to flow through you instead of it getting blocked up inside, which creates illness, by the way. People probably
yes,
notice. So it's
yes.
vital we let this out now as it's happening. I just want to quickly say, oh, dreams lately have been other lives. Yeah, that's probably going to happen. What don't you think? Somebody's just saying from Facebook, my dreams lately have been of other lives, quite intense. I've been feeling that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. That's true. And you guys, here's another thing this will trip you out. Sometimes the dreams you're having are the discarnates that are in you. So,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
often ways to know if it's really you, you're going to feel like a deep knowing that that's your life. You'll feel an affinity. You'll feel that. If it's a discarnate, you might be feeling a little like, whoa, that was intense, or whoa, what was that, or whatever. You know what I mean? But you won't have that same kind of deep knowing affinity that was me. But yeah, that can happen too.
that's an excellent point. And if this happens, Bonnie will always point out, just I open a portal of light and I just say, time to go home. Let's go, and call in their loved one.
Yeah,
We're done
time to go
here.
home.
Not your body.
Yep,
You're done. Time to go
yep.
home.
Time to go home. Yep.
Yeah. they're saying I hadn't considered discarnates. Yeah, that's a huge one. I just want to quickly say we could probably take one more question if somebody would like to write that in the chat, but we've got coming up, well, spiritualacceleration.com has coming up Clearing the Fear of Humiliation, which is a group clearing on the 10th of November, 2:30 Eastern. These are always $30 if you will be part of the live clearing, or anyway, order them before they happen. After that, it's $35. But wonderful to be part of these clearings live. It's so cool. And then on the 17th is one that really comes home for me. Does your family drive you crazy?
Yeah.
I love it. I looked at that question. I thought, no, because I moved way out west. They're in Pennsylvania, and I'm in New Mexico. You know, you can solve a damn thing.
There's still, yeah, there's still that reaction. See, that's the point right there. Yeah.
And then Cindy had said there were 4 clearings this month, so maybe, I don't know, there's chakra clearings as well.
Oh, the chakra series. Oh my goodness, the chakra's huge. Huge. It's awesome. But yeah, people can check that out on our website, the chakra series.
Everybody go to members.spiritualacceleration.com and look at under clearings, look at upcoming clearings, and maybe the chakras might be under packages. I'm not sure, or maybe that's just
for, it should be under live clearings. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's under live clearings. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So absolutely, members.spiritualacceleration.com, and it's always free to join. And I find it just the most beautiful resource, all of these clearings, and I'm hugely for them. And then there are accelerator-led group clearings. Also, Chris and Sarah doing those. Cynthia is reminding us. Excellent. Chris and Sarah are amazing. So
yes, yeah. Chris has been an accelerator for years. He's teaching. He's one of our primary teachers now, and I mean, we got some amazing people on our team. Like seriously amazing.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, all right. If anybody else has any other questions, I can always ask questions, but if you're going through something that's hard, you know, and you're wondering, well, is it the energies, or how could the energies possibly help? Write it into the chat. Absolutely. It's just very important that people feel supported right now. And Cynthia is saying Chris and Sarah are doing entity clearings and past lives clearings. Those are huge areas.
Cool. Might mean like a group clearing thing. That's what they're doing.
I guess. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Very cool. See, these people are stepping up. It's awesome.
Yeah. If you look at upcoming clearings, upcoming live energy clearings on the website, there's foundational clearings, dark force clearing, also releasing past lives and entity clearings. And that's what Cynthia is mentioning. And ET interference coming up after that in January. Wow.
Awesome.
This is huge. None of us can avoid this, friends. All right. The energies now are such, face it or keel over, basically.
Yeah. There's no. Even if you live in a cave, you're going to get it. Okay.
Because of the energies coming to the planet, because of where we are right now in our evolution. And where you and I are individually in our soul growth, and it's a very intense moment. So, Bonnie, if you have any, parting words you'd like to share, we're perfectly open to that.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's really about people understanding that whatever you're holding in your subconscious isn't just going to go away. Okay. You can pray it to go away. You can ask creation to take it, lift it, whatever. There's so many different ways in which we try to make something go away, but there are feelings and there are energies within all of us that we all have to face and feel. Okay. And until we do, we are not free, guaranteed. And this is another reason why we keep coming back, incarnating into more and more of the traumas, more intensities, because we haven't faced what's within. I just encourage people, because now is the time. Now is the time. We've got the frequency of the new paradigm, which is literally exposing everything within us by using the external to reflect. But now is the time, because we have so much help. It's so much easier now to let energy move than it's ever been, ever. I can move energy faster now, Oceana, than I ever have in my entire career. Okay. And it just moved quickly, quickly, quickly because of the support and shifting of the new paradigm. Another thing to be aware of is with the new paradigm, I saw this back in the 80s, people. I was teaching psychic classes and I saw it and I started teaching about it. The new paradigm is like the veils at a certain frequency. So if you're holding on to, negativity, anger, resentment, victimization, greed, prejudices, the things that we're experiencing in our world,
Yeah.
you cannot pass through the veils of the new paradigm because your frequency isn't light enough.
Wow.
Okay? For real. Okay? So you have to raise your vibrational frequency to a level where you can literally pass through the veils, pass right through the veils and be incarnated. Those that don't, you won't be incarnated on planet Earth, but you'll be incarnating somewhere else. And you may not like it so much, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's lots of places all these people can go to that want to hold on to hatred and greed and blaming and victimization and the poor me and all of that, all of it. If you don't want to open your heart, no problem. You just won't, it's not coming right now, but it's about 150 years. That's when we're going to really start seeing life on planet Earth being so much more heart centered. Okay. But we're in that transition right now where things are shifting, changing, and then we'll start to come through it. Like next year, the year after, that we're coming in some really intense time. What we're experiencing now is pretty much nothing compared to what's going to be happening. So heart open is the key. Connecting with your own self is the key. Connect to your own pure divine light.
Wonderful.
Live from here, and you won't be whipped around as the world's, falling apart, so to speak.
Yeah. That is fantastic. I had the good fortune to interview your friend William Linville.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
I'll be posting that on YouTube, but I said to him, what if people kind of on an ego mind level want to hold on to some of the trauma because they're like, well, I define myself by this. I'm a survivor of this and this. And well, I've been through it. I've really been through it. And they almost want to hold on to it, which I understand. I'm not blaming anybody. I hear you. And he had a very similar answer, which is very cool. So once I get that posted, I hope people will take a look. He's astounding. Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty awesome. Yeah. Pretty cool. What I love about, just so people know, William Linville has full memory because this is his first incarnation he took over. He's a walk-in, but he's never incarnated before. So we've had many conversations about what's really going on, before we come in, everything, Oceana, and he has full memory, which is pretty awesome. So it's kind of cool to compare notes because for me, I don't have that full memory, and I track and I check in with him, and so far, whatever I'm seeing, sensing has always been right in alignment with what he knows. So that was always really validating for me. I mean, I don't want to be giving information that's not right, you know what I'm saying? But it was cool just to have that kind of validation. But yeah, he's amazing being.
Yeah,
amazing.
Fantastic. I agree. It was really an honor to speak with him. I guess just one last question. Alice is wondering what you have to say about the energy of China this month. That's interesting. Do you see anything?
China. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't really address China. Okay, hang on. Yeah. Whoa. Okay, China. Okay, dokie. All right. We got some how can I say? Like cloaked things. What I mean by that is there's things happening that you can't see or know. Okay, so there's all this energy happening that we don't see or know. It's kind of hidden. Okay, but that's what's happening in China. There's some kind of, hang on, what is that? Some kind of, it's like they're doing something, they're trying to figure something. It's like a plotting kind of thing. It's like a building of energy kind of thing happening, and it's kind of hidden. It's not, everything's not out in the open. So there's, hang on, is there connections? Oh yeah, definitely connections with Russia happening. Yeah, they're just things happening that are plotting, so to speak, that haven't really been exposed yet. So this month is okay, meaning, you know, nothing's gonna come from that in this month of November. Now we could look at this again in December or January and just see what it looks like then. But right now, it's more of that things are happening behind the scenes that they don't want the world to know about, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah,
If that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, absolutely. I felt that as well.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what develops there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fascinating.
That.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and huge blessings. Thank you to Bonnie for all these amazing insights. And we hope to see you again for the December energy update, and many blessings until then.
Yep.
Namaste.
And thank you, Oceana. Love spending time here with you, girl.
Oh, honored. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right. Bye. Oh,
Bye now.
hang on.